Castlemaine. So we've got 3 features today, and we've got open mic, and it's already full. There are also books for sale down there, and at some point I believe we're selling raffle tickets. So there will be raffle tickets for sale. Talk to probably me, actually, in a minute when I figure that out. I'm Lauren, by the way. So to get started, we're going to go to the first of our 3 features, and that's AndyJackson. He helped massively in getting this organised. He also found the venue, and that's why we're here today. So very grateful to Andy for helping so much to get this happening. We'll also say that he's featured as a poet and performer at literary events and arts festivals in Ireland, India, the USA and Australia, including the 2017 Castlemaine State Festival with Each Map of Scars, a collaboration with Rachel Guy and Leonie Van Eyck. I hope I'm saying people's names right, I'm terrible at this. Yep. Andy's poems have been selected for 5 of the last 6 annual editions of the Best Australian Poems. His most recent collection, Music Our Bodies Can't Hold, consists of a portrait of poems of other people with Marfan syndrome and was recently featured on ABC Radio National's Earshot. He's worked in call centres, libraries and as a creative writing tutor, and is currently undertaking a PhD in poetry and bodily otherness through the University of Adelaide. So I think this is going to be very exciting. So AndyJackson.
As Lauren said, this book came out last year, Music Our Bodies Can't Hold. So it's a series of portraits of other people. Other people with Marfan syndrome, either famous or infamous or not famous at all. This one is Bradford Cox, musician, born in 1982. On the solo album you thought would be your last, bare-chested pectus excavatum, your halo burns a hole in the sky. So should we start now? All finger quotes and verbal filler, limbs folded up on the interview chair, skin and bone origami. I don't know who I am, I always just wanted to be kind. Your 16th summer, invisible, still unconscious in ICU, 1 ice chip an hour. When you wake, everything makes sense when you look at it another way. Your answers are angular too, medical things or physical condition, all those painkiller years. We forget how music saves us. It's not some emo thing. Sheer frequencies, deep listening, teenagers write, afraid and comforted, through reverb and delay, the boringness of hotel rooms, 17-hour flights, bad food, instability of everything. When we die, we'll bury ourselves far away from a music festival as possible. The easiest way to fuck anything up, start trying. So some of these were done out through research, and some were done through interviews, just with people I contacted online. This is John, a young guy who I had a fantastic conversation with. He was born in 1985. Dad kept us very sheltered. We lived in the woods. I've had a handful of shirts ripped off me. This one time, he lined us up on the back porch, lit a cigarette, started lecturing. You replied with yes sir or no sir, and you were lying if you didn't like the answer. It didn't hurt, but I forced myself to cry. In school, I was the ugly shy kid everyone made fun of. Had to wear a back brace for a year. I hit my growth spurt, grew over the points where it applied pressure, so I had a spinal fusion. My spine would have crushed all of my lungs. A few years later, open heart surgery. If I don't take blood thinners every day, something bad could happen, like with Uncle Bobby. I made friends with the real punk rockers around town, kids that had to drop out to get a job. They're still some of my best friends. Suicide was always a thing. But I have little brothers. Last weekend, I spray painted designs on t-shirts for them, made Caleb a special one. After the tsunami in Sri Lanka, Dad flew there to volunteer. He isn't all bad. He taught us a lot that went unsaid with other families, morals and what a man should be. I see him and my stepmom get walked over by their bosses and whatnot. I've never let that happen to me. One thing I always wished for when I was growing up, a normal chest. Now I look at it different. It makes me unique. How do I spend my time now? Art, art, art. My girlfriend even gets jealous of my art. Me and a friend are going to move in together, release our comics. We plan on ruling the local scene. As for the future, I don't think about it too much anymore. Yeah, this one's Jonathan Larson, who is the playwright behind the musical Rent. Yeah, he's born in 1960 and died in 1996, so quite young. And it happens to be a sonnet, for some reason. Jonathan, found dead on the floor of his Manhattan loft, sent home from 2 emergency rooms, the foot-long tear in his aorta unnoticed. The point of Rent is that it's not how many years you live, but the songs you write into other people's bodies. We don't end where the skin is, where liquid and air we enter each other. He went to the meetings for the dying, for his friend, held his frail hand. Back then, the ecstasy and suffering of junkies, musicians, drag queens and actors was invisible, not yet cliché. The more he analysed the fraught heart of La Boheme, the less he cared about being faithful to Puccini. Knowing the open relationship of art, he laughed. I'm only as good as my soundboard operator. Then, shyly, I think I might have a life as a composer. One more from this book. This is Anne. Anne's an English woman born in 1979 who has my fan and her kids also do. 3 days after he was born, I knew for sure it was over one of those interminable cups of tea. The midwife cooed, "Ooh, hasn't he got long fingers?" And I burst into tears. He has what I have. My only regret now is what he must have heard me say. Oh, he's so tall for 2, a real pain, as if his body was a shameful mistake. Strangers assume I'm anorexic, give me that look, to Hugo too. A nurse demanded to know if I was feeding him. My father, a red-haired boy with spectacles in wartime Scarborough, was told to F off back to Auschwitz. When my sister and I were kids, it was Ethiopia. What would you say a serious handicap is? How we look, our thin bodies, the sheer possibility of premature death, or this here choice to give birth to someone like me? Thank you.